How big is your vocabulary? Do you think you've got a good grasp on the English language? Well, I have a handful of words for you that you probably have never heard of, and that's because these words rarely appear, and this is why they're deemed some of the hardest in the English language. Most natives do not know them, so by learning them, you are going to be one step ahead of most people. And I have to admit that I didn't know any of these words before making this video. Now, I've broken this video down into 3 parts so that you have time to digest some of the information. So if you do enjoy this one, be sure to come back and watch the other 2. So now let's open our minds and stretch our vocabulary. And in order to ensure that these words go in and stay in our minds, I would like you to write a sentence for each of these words, if not at least a couple of them. Number 1, captious. Captious. This is an adjective, and it means that you tend to find fault or that you make petty objections to things. That can be annoying. For example, his wife was a captious woman. Number 2, bibulus. Bibulus. If you are bibulus, then you are excessively fond of drinking alcohol. So I might say, they were certainly a bibulous bunch. Word number 3, malapropism. Malapropism. That's a mouthful. Malapropism. Malapropism is the mistaken use of a word in place of a similar sounding word, often with an amusing effect. For example, I might say flamingo instead of flamenco. And the example sentence? You cannot deny the amusement that malapropism brings to a language teacher's life. Number 4, tricorn. Tricorn. This can be used as an adjective or a noun. As an adjective, it describes a hat which has a brim turned up on 3 sides. And as a noun, it describes the hat which has a turn up on 3 sides. Here are some example sentences. With these costumes, we should be wearing tricorn hats, especially if we want to appear authentic. He stood looking at her longingly with his tricorn under his arm. Next we have tenebrous. Tenebrous. This is a literary adjective and it means dark, shadowy or obscure. For example, his deep, tenebrous voice made me feel uneasy. Next we have braggadocio. Braggadocio. Braggadocio is a noun and it means boastful or arrogant behaviour. For example, spend a few moments on YouTube and you'll see many examples of braggadocio. Next we have brut. Brut, which sounds exactly the same as this word. Brute. Brute, but it has a completely different meaning. This word can be used as a verb or a noun. As a verb, it means to spread, usually a rumour, widely. So you spread a rumour widely. For example, I might say, it is widely bruited among my viewers that I am a big fan of sprouts, which of course is not true. But as a noun, this is a medical term which means a sound, especially an abnormal sound, which is heard through a stethoscope, like a murmur. For example, if you listen closely, doctor, you will note that an arterial bruit can be heard over the liver. The next word is probably one of my new favourite words, and it is embonpoint. Embonpoint. This certainly doesn't sound English. I'm sure we'd borrowed this from the French. But it means the fleshy, plump parts of the body, particularly a woman's bosom. Ooh. She was loved for many reasons, not least for her glorious embonpoint. Next we have pabulum. Pabulum. Now, pabulum is a mass noun and it basically means bland or insipid intellectual matter or bland or insipid entertainment. And the example sentence is, Facebook has taken steps to clear our news feeds of the uninvited pabulum which is apparently getting us down. So, if you've taken any of those words on board, you have just enriched your English vocabulary with some of the hardest words in our language. Don't forget, there are 2 more parts to this video. If I've already made those parts, then they will be in the description box below. If I haven't, then make sure you subscribe and press the bell notification button so that you're notified when I do release them and you can enrich your vocabulary even further. Okay, I'm going to stop with this pabulum now. Take care, see you soon, and goodbye.